live in interesting times. Today's stories. 8 have been killed in a Brazil school shooting and 2 suspects are dead. Turkey's Erdogan accuses Netanyahu of massacring children. A Cameroonian mechanic offers a fresh take on second-hand cars. Could microalgae clean a polluted Peruvian lake? President Trump announces plan to ground all Boeing 737 MAX planes. Foxconn reacts to Microsoft's patent lawsuit. Plus, EBC film Guerrero exceeds the audience expectations on its Edmonton screening. And how to celebrate Pi Day. Hello everyone, I'm Anna Kui, bringing you stories from around the globe. And this is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. Authorities said 2 assailants opened fire inside a school near Sao Paulo on Wednesday, killing 8 people including 4 children before turning the weapons on themselves. Military Police Colonel Marcelo Salas said 2 assailants burst into the school grounds in the early morning, armed with a .38 caliber revolver and a medieval weapon that looked like a bow and arrow. Salas said after shooting at students in the yard, the killers headed to the language center, where several pupils were hiding, and committed suicide in a corridor. A state military police spokesman said 8 people died at the scene, including the 2 assailants. 2 injured people died after being taken to the hospital. Around 15 others were injured in the shooting, which took place at the Raul Brazil Public School in Suzano, on the outskirts of Sao Paulo in southeast Brazil. Sao Paulo State Governor João Doria said 4 children and 2 members of staff were among the dead.
Consternado, para dizer, chocado com o que vi aqui. Nunca tinha visto uma cena igual em toda a minha vida. Então, a minha solidariedade a essas famílias.
He said it was not yet known whether the assailants were former students at the school. Authorities said the attack took place at around 9:30 a.m. during a recess period for some students. Salas of the military police said the 2 attackers shot at the owner of a car wash who is now receiving hospital treatment before entering the school. Website UO1 said the 2 killers, probably teenagers, entered the school shooting with their heads covered by a hood. Another website, G1, published a grainy video purportedly taken inside the school in which the screams of terrified students can be heard as they come across dead classmates. Globo News showed television pictures of pupils fleeing the scene after escaping over a wall. Education Minister Ricardo Velez published a statement offering solidarity with the parents, families, and staff at the school in this moment of shock, mourning, and pain. It's not the first mass school shooting at Brazil's history. In April 2011, a former pupil killed a dozen school children and injured many more before turning his gun on himself at a school in the suburbs of Rio de Janeiro. Brazil is one of the most violent countries in the world, with 64,000 murders in 2017, a rate of almost 31 per 100,000 inhabitants. That's 3 times higher than the level of the United Nations classifies as endemic violence. Far-right President Jair Bolsonaro controversially passed a law relaxing the rules on carrying weapons soon after assuming power in January, delivering on a campaign promise. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan Wednesday accused Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of being a tyrant who massacred Palestinian babies in the latest exchange between the 2 leaders.
Ey Netanyahu, sen kendine gel, kendine. Sen zalimsin. Sen 7 yaşındaki o Filistinli yavruları katleden zalimsin. Yılmadan İsrail'in başındaki o soyguncu şu anda kendi ülkesinde yargılanıyor. 7'den 70'e binlerce, 10 binlerce insanı şu anda hicrelere tıkayan bir zalimsin.
In Bafoussam in western Cameroon, young mechanic Cedric Simon shows off the latest creation, an off-road vehicle made from recovered and recycled parts. His atypical made-in-Cameroon car tends to get a surprise reaction from local residents as he drives around the streets of the city. Driving down the streets of Bafoussam behind the wheel of his pickup, Cedric doesn't go unnoticed. Made with recycled parts, Cedric's little blue truck is an eye-catching creation that often defies belief.
Je suis assis confortablement, une voiture de 2 places, et ça, tous les accessoires. Je suis même surpris d'arriver dedans, je constate que le tableau de bord fonctionne, comme toutes les voitures, donc vraiment, c'est un génie.
A genius to some, Cedric is above all resourceful. After leaving school at 11 years old, he learned car mechanics in his uncle's workshop, making model cars out of bamboo. He turned his childhood interest into a lifelong passion and poured his savings into creating this planet-friendly vehicle.
J'ai payé du matériel avant de la transformer comme je veux. Et il y a aussi certaines pièces de récupération que j'ai achetées comme amortisseurs, pneus, moteurs.
In Cameroon, the vast majority of cars are second-hand, so Cedric's new take on the used car has sparked interest on social media. Interest he hopes will help him to continue to develop and improve his creations.
Je vais profiter pour demander à l'État du Cameroun qu'on essaye de mettre ces personnes qui ont des idées un peu élevées dans de meilleures conditions pour qu'ils nous aident à produire des voitures comme ça pour aider les Camerounais ou le monde entier.
Cedric is waiting on a partnership with the Cameroonian government, and in the meantime, he's already receiving private orders from Cameroon, Ivory Coast, and Benin. Rumor has it his next models may include electric motors to make the small cars even more eco-friendly. Coming up, could microalgae clean a polluted Peruvian lake? President Trump announced his plan to ground all Boeing 737 MAX planes. Foxconn reacts to Microsoft's patent lawsuit. Eagle News, Washington, D.C. will be right back. Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News, Washington, D.C. A team of Peruvian biologists is investigating the use of microalgae to remove mineral contaminants from fresh water that has been polluted from mining.
Otro problema importante en el país es la contaminación del agua, sobre todo el agua dulce, ¿no? Que está en los lagos, en los ríos. Y veíamos que no había ningún proyecto de por medio, entonces nosotros, una vez identificado el problema, empezamos a buscar qué posibilidades, en este caso, de solucionar ese inconveniente. Bueno, si digamos hay facilidades por parte del gobierno regional, del gobierno central y se puede dar presupuesto, yo creo que sí, pues, se puede trabajar, digamos, unos 10 años más o menos.
U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday announced a plan to ground all Boeing 737 MAX aircraft amid intense international and political pressure following the second deadly crash in less than 5 months.
Any plane currently in the air will go to its destination and thereafter be grounded until further notice. So planes that are in the air will be grounded. If they're the 737 MAX, will be grounded upon landing at the destination. Pilots have been notified. Airlines have been all notified.
Foxconn founder Terry Gou accuses Microsoft of taking advantage of the ongoing U.S.-China trade war to file a lawsuit against its company for failing to comply with a patent licensing agreement. In a press conference at its Taiwan headquarters, Gou said Foxconn is being used as a scapegoat and calls Microsoft a bully and a coward for not going after big players like Google and Android and big Chinese mobile manufacturers.
我可以第二个绝对跟你保证，鸿海公司跟富士康绝对不会受到任何一分的损失。而且因为这样子，我们的用户、我们的客户更会把更多订单给我们做，因为我们保护他的权益。他应该跟安卓收费，跟 Google 收费，那他为什么不收？所以他绕一圈。为什么绕一圈？就是希望写进中美贸易谈判的合约里面。如果微软今天敢提，把富士康撤掉，直接告那一家，那他不是微软，他是微硬，他大跟硬。但因为微软孬种。
When we come back, ABC film Guerrero exceeds the audience expectations on its Edmonton screening. And ways to celebrate Pi Day. Eagle News Washington, D.C. will return shortly. This is Eagle News Washington, D.C. I'm Anna Kui. ABC film Guerrero recently wowed an Edmonton audience. Moviegoers say the movie did not just meet their expectations, but exceeded them. Eagle News correspondent Karina Bularan with the details.
The EBC Films production of Guerrero continues to delight audiences in North America. At a recent screening in Edmonton, Canada, the audiences reacted enthusiastically to this touching story. Some moviegoers traveled more than 4 hours to Edmonton to attend the first and only screening of Guerrero in northern Alberta. Guerrero follows the story of a promising boxer through his ups and downs. The film, with its cast of up-and-coming actors and actresses, succeeded in making the audience laugh and cry with its plot full of twists and turns. At times, Julio Cesar Sabinerio, who plays Ramon Guerrero's 10-year-old brother Miguel, seals the show with punchlines that take humor shots at his brother.
Pero hindi. Kasi hanggang sa matapos, talo siya.
And for some, like Nick Shaw's, the message in the story packed a powerful punch.
Never give up. That's the main thing. Always never give up. That's all I can say.
Shaw's adds he could really identify with the story.
I thought the movie was very inspirational. I got a lot out of it. Some of those parts were things that happened in my life. So maybe not exactly the same, but the metaphor was there, and I totally loved it. So I hope anybody else who ever gets the chance to see it, definitely go see it.
Expectations were high for this movie as it received multiple awards and nominations in the Philippines and even internationally. Marvy Abellera, who drove 2.5 hours to see this film, was not disappointed.
The movie was great. It has lots of morals and you learn lots of things about it. Especially not giving up on life and just keep trusting on God, right?
Young people who attended were also impressed.
I like the bonding of the two brothers. I think it's really funny. I would like a brother like that, like Miguel.
I found it inspirational to keep going in life and to always put your trust and faith in God because He'll always take care of everything.
For me, it was back to the whole Bible study scene. I can't remember the verse, but it was something like how you have to go through a lot of things because your faith is kind of like gold and it goes through a lot of tests.
It needs to be purified like gold.
But it was really bitter.
Yeah. I hope for a part 2.
Even children were touched by this story.
It's very good. It's very interesting too. And it's very funny too. At the very part, it's very funny. And it's very sad in the end.
Directed by Carlo Ortega Cuevas, who was behind the indie film Walang Take Two, this Filipino film is the first ever full-length movie released by EBC Films. It appears, like in other cities where the film has been shown, Guerrero is a hit with the audience. In Edmonton, Karina Bularan, EBC News, I'm 1 with 25.
Thanks, Karina. It might seem like just another day, but March 14 is a special day to many, so much so that businesses across the nation are jumping into the excitement to cash in on the celebrations. Jonathan Amos has more.
March 14th marks the day the world celebrates the mathematical constant pi, which is the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter, which is approximately 3.14159. Not to be confused with National Pie Day, which takes place in January and is all about enjoying flaky crust fruit pies. Pie Day can be celebrated in many different ways, including eating those fruit pies. But it's also celebrated by eating pizzas, math contests, and the ever-popular social media craze. Local businesses are running specials such as pizzas and pies for just $3.14. Some of the specials run for the week, while others will be running for the entire month. Math geek or not, it will definitely be worth a quick search to find out what specials you can avail of this year.
From Phoenix, Arizona, I'm John Amos, and I'm 1 with 25.
Thanks, Jonathan. That is today's Eagle News, Washington, D.C. Join us tomorrow for stories that matter to you. Visit our websites at Eaglenews.PH and EagleNewsLive.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/EagleNewsPH. Thank you for watching. I'm Anna Kui, and I am 1 with 25.